Hello. We are now at the end of one year and the beginning of a new year. As a gardener, I find this time of year so exciting. It gives me a chance to draw a line in the sand, forget about last year and start planning the next year's garden. And at this time of year, I usually put a video out where I give myself a load of allotment goals for the next growing season that are usually quite unachievable. So instead of doing that this year, I thought I would do something a little bit different, and I asked a number of YouTube channels to give me one gardening goal for the next growing season. So I'm going to stop talking now and leave you with these lovely channels that chose to participate in this little collab. What I'll also do as well is I will put a link to everybody's channel below in the description. So if you're not familiar with them, then you can go and head over to their channels and have a look.
Alright guys, Steve from Digwell Greenfingers here. It's that time of year again. It's halfway through December early and it's time to think about New Year's resolutions. I'm just getting ready to get the onions in for a show next year. Hopefully there'll be some shows. Anyway, New Year's resolution. I was thinking next year, 2021, going completely organic. Now that's not going to happen because I've already bought loads and loads of compost and I haven't got the dosh to spend an extra couple of quid on the 100 bags of compost each. So what I'm doing, I'm going to go with more flowers, more companion planting, more flowers to attract pollinators, things like the poached eggplant. Attracts hoverflies, they lay their eggs, become larvae, and the larvae eat green fly by the million, you know. So I'm going to do more of that. And I got a book, great book, Carrots Love Tomatoes. I only played with it last year. I just flicked through, found a few things that I was growing. But this year coming, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a flower or a plant with every vegetable to enhance its growth, enhance its yield, etc. I might lose a bit in ground, but I grow too much anyway. So let's see how it goes, eh? Poached eggplant, let's have a look.
Good day. Decluttering seed boxes. We all have or have had seed boxes that are just jam-packed. We hope to use the seeds, but often there are some seeds that we never will use. So sort out your seeds now. Sort out the ones that you want to grow, the ones that you need to buy because you want to grow them, and then set aside any seeds that you're not going to use. Send those off to the Free Seed Company who will distribute them to needy causes, or give them to friends, family, or other allotmenteers, because very often sharing is caring. Anyway, that's my tip for the new year. I hope you have a good one.
Hello, my name's Owen and I'm from the YouTube channel, The Welsh Gardener, where I share lots of gardening tips, a bit like Erica's channel. So my gardening New Year's resolution is that I want to preserve much more of my summer harvest. So this year I made about 10 to 15 jars of jam, but I want to make much more next year, and I want to store more in jars and things like that. So maybe like soups or just general things like that. And I also want to try and make some more like chutneys and preserves and just general preserving more of my food. I also want to try and figure out a better way of storing things like root vegetables and onions and garlic, because I need to grow more onions next year and more garlic. Well, actually, I haven't actually grown garlic before, but I want to grow more garlic, and I want to up everything that I can store so that I can have more of my homegrown harvest throughout the year, if that makes any sense.
Hello, it's Jane here from Jane's Allotment. My New Year's resolution is not only going to be completely obvious because of what I've got in my hand, but also, if you've followed my channel at all, you will know the ongoing battle I have had over the years with labelling. I've got much better at labelling my seedlings at sowing point. I've got much better at putting labels in when I transfer them into separate pots. So up to when they leave the greenhouse, all goes well. Where I am sadly lacking is when I put them in the ground, because more often than not I don't take my labels to hand. I've got this little pot in the greenhouse next to me. I tend not to walk around with that round the allotment, so I'll put them in the ground I'll turn my back and think, don't worry, Jane, I know that they're Turk's Turban, or I know that they're Gardener's Delight. I'm never going to forget that. I'll either put a label in or write it in my gardening diary when I get home. Then I forget. Then I don't know what's what, and I end up with a right muddle, and I don't know whether to plant out more Gardener's Delight or a different variety because I can't remember what I put in the first place. So my resolution this year is to make sure, even if I have a little bag with labels in that I carry around with me, make sure that I label at each and every point of the growing season. So I'm not going to end up with a terrible surprise at the end of it. So keep your fingers and toes crossed for me, and hopefully this time next year I might be able to move on and resolve to do something completely different. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Well, hi everyone, my name's Richard and I run the Veg Grower podcast. Now Erica has asked me just to share my 2021 New Year's resolution, and this is probably going to be quite an easy one for many people out there. My 2021 resolution is that I am going peat free, so any compost I buy in will not contain peat, and I've already started that. Now the basis that I've started doing this, I've always been aware that we should be going peat free, but there's a lot of debate whether the peat free composts are any good. Well, 2020 I carried out an experiment where I grew tomatoes in peat-free compost and peat-based compost, and the result of that was that there was no difference between the two types of compost. So the price was exactly the same, everything was exactly the same, so why would I buy peat-based compost anymore? So that's what I've done. I'm gone peat-free. Hopefully that's going to make a few other people think about it as well, but regardless, that's my 2021 resolution. So I'd just like to thank Erica for asking me to get involved.
Hi, I'm Jen and I'm from Jen's Allotment Adventures. For 2021, my New Year's resolution is to grow more heritage varieties of foods. I recently joined the Heritage Seed Library and my seeds have arrived for 2021. I will be growing organic carrots called Afghan Purple, Tellus celeriac, which I've never grown before, runner beans called Montacute, Carter's Battleship peas, which sound amazing, Brussels sprouts called Catskill, and organic cabbage called Paddy. The Heritage Seed Library is part of Garden Organic, so I'm looking forward to learning a more organic way of growing our food for my family and seeing how heritage varieties of seeds compare to modern popular varieties today.
Welcome back, my gardening friends. My name's Terry King and my channel name is Terry King's Allotment Gardening on a Budget. I do everything on a budget. I enjoy allotment gardening and spending as little money as I can by making my own liquid plant foods, compost mixes, recycling, repurposing, and even cutting out spending money on gas for the cattle. And my New Year's resolution is I do need to thin out a lot of the things that I've collected over the last 6 years while I've been allotment gardening. I've got a lot of stuff. I do part with some things reluctantly because we never know when we may need them, but at the end of the day my plots are now getting to a position where I'm happy and I can start giving some other things away that I've collected and perhaps no longer need anymore. So from Terry King's Allotment Gardening on a Budget, I'd like to wish you, the viewers, a very happy New Year.
I'm Liz Zorab from By the Farm, and my gardening New Year's resolution is not to plant all the seeds at once. In previous years I haven't been very good at spacing out planting of seeds, and I often plant just way too many seeds at once, so I'm suddenly left with a whole glut of seedlings I need to get into the ground, and what on earth am I going to do with 30 or 40 cabbage plants all in one go? So sowing little and often and over a long period of time will give me a succession of harvest. And also, when I do a bulk harvest, there won't be quite so much of any one thing to process and get stored away at the same time. So there you go. My resolution is to be more organised with my seed sowing, little and often over a longer period.
Hi folks, how you doing? I'm Ross Minton. This is Grow Your Own Life. Those of you that have been following my channel probably know that I've been redesigning absolutely everything over the winter, trying to get ready for 2021. Hopefully we'll be back to normality. Anyway, my New Year's resolution for the allotment and for the garden is to be a lot more self-sufficient. I plan on getting only locally sourced meat and eating meat a lot less. I plan on growing a hell of a lot more vegetables. I talk a good game and I talk about biodiversity and reducing plastic waste and everything like that, but the fact of the matter is, like a lot of people, I'm not as good as I think I am. So that's the plan for 2021, to be more environmentally friendly, to grow more of my own food, and to only source my food from, I don't know, within 15-20 miles of my house, to really cut down on my carbon footprint. Now, I'm not a hippie by any sense of the word. I don't wear hemp underpants, but I think we all need to do a little bit better. So I'm starting 2021. It's going to be new, self-sufficient, biodiverse, eco-friendly. Grow your own life.
Hello, my name's Dean and my YouTube channel is Dean's Lost the Plot. I predominantly grow giant veg and show vegetables. That is my hobby. That's what I like to do. I like to enter the shows and things like that as well. I've been doing this for a few years now, 3 years. But my New Year's resolution will be to grow more for the table again, and for the family, as we don't know what's going to happen over 2021 and beyond. So I will be growing more root vegetables, more things like brassicas, cabbages. Instead of growing the giant cabbages, it'll be smaller cabbages. I've already got my leeks grown for the exhibition and shows, which I don't think will go ahead, so they will be used for the garden. And I've also got giant onions grown as well inside here, which do store exactly the same as normal veg, and they will come in very handy for onion rings. So have a great 2021 everybody, and I hope we'll all see you there.
Hi, I'm Ray, and I'm from the gardening channel with Ray. And my New Year's resolution for 2021 is to grow a lot more fruit and vegetables that we mainly eat, and doing this successionally, sowing week by week and giving us a longer spread out harvest. And while I'm sowing my seeds, we need to do labels. You think you're going to remember, but you don't. You really don't. Labels, labels. Have a good New Year. Thank you very much. Cheers.
I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this video today. I certainly enjoyed putting it together, and I just want to take a quick second to thank all of the YouTube channels that were involved in making this video happen. And I certainly have been much more inspired by listening to everybody's goals for next year, but I would really love to hear what your gardening goal for next year is. So please make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what your goal for next year is. For myself, I think I'd really love to master growing mushrooms. I've tried in the past and it's been a little bit hit and miss. So yeah, if I could master growing mushrooms next year, then I will be pretty pleased with that. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please do hit that subscribe button below and ring the bell so you'll be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up on the screen now that they think you'll like. So please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!